Comrades, I often think about the power the first talking films from Hollywood would have had on the proletariat of America. The average, frumpy, poor and exhausted women of the late 30s would have entered their theaters and seen beautiful people, dancing, talking and living through the silver screen. How wonderful this would have been, to have seen beautiful women that were not the empty-headed Mary Lou's of the scattered towns who did nothing for the attention men lavished upon them. How clear the world would have become once the beautiful were justified. These elegant people spoke with a wit and intelligence the pretty girls of reality were incapable of even conceiving.
Good, let's have blood and destruction.
It would have made sense then, that society favored these pretty people over the plain women of the proletariat, that the wealth and happiness these films depicted would have been earned, deserved by the virtue these silver heroes represented. The secret, of course, was that these beautiful actors were given clever things to say by Jewish writers and homosexual directors. The union between beauty and wit that we call celebrity was constructed in order to justify the unjustifiable laws of human attraction and capitalist accumulation. The beautiful people were just as dumb and empty as the pretty girls back home, and the reverence they received was no more deserved than the arbitrary arrangement of genetics that dictated which girl was pretty and which was ugly. It was merely another illusion built to make the insanity of the world seem sane a little longer and give the Jews another commodity to sell. But it must have been nice to think that somewhere, somehow, those beautiful celebrities deserved their importance.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
So it is with Kanye West, a man who is told he's a genius everywhere he goes because he has music that is popular with the decadent youth of America, even as he is so obviously a man going through an untreated psychotic episode.
I was on opioids 2 days after I got off of opioids, and I was addicted to opioids.
The nature of genius in America is unclear, conferred both to those who create impossible mathematical models and those who are very good at accumulating capital. Kanye West is of the latter kind. His genius is his aptitude for vertical integration, and his public popularity is based upon his ability to shout nonsense and generate controversy off the bizarre meaninglessness of said nonsense.
You ain't got the answers, man!
In actuality, he is more stupefying than anything else, making statements that are so beside the point that the floor is conferred to him if only because no one knows how to respond.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Sure, Beyonce may have made the greatest music video of all time, but that is like winning the blue ribbon for best truck stop blowjob. It is a low bar to cross. But if this is what matters to a man like Kanye, sure, whatever he says. I think America has found it easy to cede to strong wills regardless of their validity. At least someone is not depressed and filled with anxiety. If this loud person wants to be known as a genius, why not? We don't want him to leave us here, in this hole with the darkness closing in. After all, he wants all of the lights. Personally, I reject the notion that Kanye West is a genius. Beethoven was a genius. Wonder is a genius. Kanye is a good arranger. He is on a par with composer Howard Shore or late period Trent Reznor. No. Kanye West is not a genius, but he is a god, or more accurately, God Emperor. After all, how does one dispute this? Who else has their face plastered across the world? Who else descends from the sky in a bevy of light and smoke? He has married Aphrodite and anointed his child as one of the cardinal directions. This man is God. He quiets a room of hundreds with his voice alone.
Hey, everyone listen to this, please.
Brings hundreds of thousands to his call, and has an entire race and entire peoples blighted under the sun to call him their savior. He is, of course, not a god of reality. That would be terrifying. But Kanye West is very clearly a god of capitalism. He has been placed amongst a pantheon whose members are very few. These lofty immortals look down upon us, telling us how to live and eat and spend our time, and we look up to them, hoping that one day we can earn their favor. And just like the pantheons of Greece, they too exist at the leisure of the universal structure that enables their heaven. Rich and famous, Kronos and Gaia, with death being the only alternative. Examine the deference that this mirrored copy of Kanye West offers. First, ceding Kanye's godlike power,
and living the life that you've earned by being a genius,
and then pointing to his own lowly status as a mortal.
The rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives.
Living under the structures which protect Kanye. Though he does not make the connection, it is there for all to see. Kanye West is a god for the same reason someone is murdered each Chicago night. They are killed for the money the gods spend on gold-flavored chicken wings. Kanye West, in the simplest terms, is a black man who has transcended his mortality. He has ceased to be the child from DC and become the avatar of black male desire, declaring his dominion not over the structures of power that enabled his ascendance, but the games and trivialities that dominated his mortality. The godlike for him is success in the fashion world, in the record industry, and over the fat-assed creations of Pygmalion. He is living the dreams of the massive black underclass, wholly unconcerned with what made them an underclass in the first place. Kanye West is the living power fantasy for the young, supreme-wearing black proletariat, the same way Conor McGregor is for the Irish proletariat. Notice that both thrones crumble under the weight of their being. In this self-made world of illusion, Kanye West is a god, indisputably. Outside of it, in the reality of material and power, he is another sacrificial goat meant to appease the conscience of America's wealthiest children. To this old communist, this is obvious, but I now recognize that getting past the strength of Kanye's illusions is not easy for the world at large as it is for me. Now that I am understood, I hope you understand as well. This man is a god because the young black men of America need him to be. They need to hear that they too can succeed and get their own fat-assed Aphrodite, even as reality crashes upon them with every passing day. Now you know what is to be done.